Hey guys, welcome back to Budget Thunder 101, and this video is about how to kill Panzers. Now, Panzers, as the most common enemy you'll face below 3.3, and probably still 1/4 of the medium tanks you'll see from 3.3 to 4.0. Knowing how to kill Panzers is pretty important. So, this video will cover how to kill Panzer 2s, and how to kill Panzer 3s and 4s. If you want to see how to kill the casemate variants of Panzers, I'll have another video dedicated to that because there are just way too many Panzer casemates, and putting them all in one video is just way too long. Now, these colors means these things. If it's yellow, you shoot there to overpressure the tank. If it's red, you shoot it because it's gonna kill the tank fastest, but that's not necessarily the weakest part on their armor, and I have marked out the ammo racks with violet boxes. Now, as for Panzer 2s, it's pretty simple. The front plate is 30mm at the thickest, and it's completely not angled, so just shoot there. You will have no trouble penetrating it unless you're using something stupid like the Japanese Haigo tank or the French FCM tank. We have a very nice gunner lined up here, ammo rack horizontally lined up here, and the driver and the commander here. So ideally, you'll actually hit somewhere around here on the right, but hitting in the middle also works just fine. Now from the side, it's pretty much the same. For some reason, it also has an ammo rack here, lined up very horizontally and nicely. So shoot it here to knock out the gunner, and perhaps have an ammo rack detonation. But if you can't detonate ammo rack and you don't have filler, you're probably gonna have to shoot here to take out the commander, and shoot here to take out the driver. Of course, as you can see in both pictures, you can only shoot at the driver's cupola, no, the commander's cupola, to overpressure the tank, because the hull has a roof that is 15mm thick, and contemporary HE shells can't penetrate 15mm with fragmentation. Now, as to Panzer 3s and 4s, these are probably the most common tank you'll see, as I mentioned before. To overpressure it, you can shoot at the driver's cupola to make it penetrate the roof, or the lower half of the turret to make it penetrate the hull's roof, which are both 10 to 15mm thick, but at 2.3 and above, contemporary HE shells will do a lot more damage than 10-15mm. Well, it's still the same for where you should shoot to do the maximum damage. You have the machine gunner here, you have the driver here, and you have the commander here, and the loader and the gunner here. So shooting here will actually create a cone of shrapnel that knocks out these people, and maybe even this or this, but definitely turn them yellow even if they're not knocked out. And if you have filler, they're all gonna die. As simple as that. But for tanks that are a bit thicker, here at the frontal plate, you could also try the turret cheek, but also remember that you should shoot at the right side of the turret cheek, because if you shoot at the left side, they can still return fire. Now, from the side is where the Panzer 3 and 4 differ. So the trick of telling these apart is either look at the sprocket wheels. The Panzer 3 has 6 and the Panzer 4 has 8. And you can also look at how far the turret is from the front plate. On the Panzer 3s, these are quite short, but on the Panzer 4s, these are significantly longer. Now, from the side, it's still the same. You can overpressure them from hitting the lower part of the turret, or the or the commander's cupola. And if you want to have a quick kill without detonating the ammo rack, you can shoot at the crew compartment here. And since it's a bit odd, this thing has ammo scattered all over the crew compartment. It's very common to see people with carrying only a minimal load. So to ensure that you can hit ammo rack when you want to ammo rack, you should shoot at this part right below the latter half of the turret, because that's where the first ammo rack is. Now, on the Panzer 4, it's basically the same deal. Shoot at the crew compartment, same overpressure spots, but only this time the ammo rack is behind the driver here. So if you want ammo rack, be sure to shoot right below the front half of the turret. And that's pretty much it. Now, for some notable enemies you have to see are the Panzer 3L, M, and N. This is at 3.3. These two are at 3.0. So you might want to watch out, because these things have a 20mm spaced armor on the front, so it could be a bit difficult. Of course, on the Panzer 3N doesn't have it on the turret, so you just shoot it in the turret. But for these two, you probably have to knock out the transmission here, and then flank them, or wait for your teammates to come in and shoot them with a big gun. And there's also the Panzer 4E. It has a 60mm front plate. It's not much, but at 2.3, it's a lot. However, luckily, it only has 30mm on the turret cheeks, so shoot there if you can. Or you can also just choose to knock out its transmission, flank it, or wait for the big guns. Alright folks, that's all for this video, and here's a huge shout out to all of y'all who have already subscribed. And if you want to see your name up here, make sure to subscribe and make it public. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye!